You're standing in the cereal aisle. 15 minutes ago, all you wanted was breakfast. Now you're reading ingredients you can't pronounce, comparing boxes that all promise basically the same thing in different colors, and somehow you still can't decide. It probably doesn't matter which one you pick. Your brain, though, is treating it like it might. This isn't really about cereal. It's about something a lot older than supermarkets. For most of human history, choosing didn't look anything like this. Someone waking up in an early camp likely had a short, obvious set of options. Eat whatever the land was offering that season. Sleep wherever the group already was. Trust the faces you'd known your whole life. The range was small, but the choices that were there carried real weight, shaped by people and places already familiar, not by rows of strangers competing for your attention, each one louder than the last. Now picture an ordinary Tuesday morning. Notifications stacking up before your feet even hit the floor. A streaming menu longer than a lifetime could watch. A job board with thousands of postings, half of them for roles that didn't exist 20 years ago. Even coffee turns into a decision tree size. Milk, syrup, temperature, 10 toppings nobody asked for. None of it is dangerous. None of it is even particularly important. And yet, somewhere in the middle of all that freedom, something quietly started to feel like exhaustion instead. Here's the part almost nobody stops to notice. The brain never evolved a system for sorting through thousands of near-identical options. In many foraging societies, people likely made relatively few high-stakes decisions in a day, but they made them fast, and with confidence, usually backed by tradition or by simply watching someone else do it first. Nobody stood there comparing 40 versions of the same object, turning boxes over to read the fine print. The brain wasn't built to rule out 99 irrelevant choices before landing on the one that fits. It was built to notice the few that mattered and move. And this is where it gets strange, because more options were supposed to mean more freedom. In a lot of real ways, it does. More paths, more access, more control over your own life than almost any human before you ever had. That part is worth holding on to. Choice, at its core, is a kind of power ancient humans rarely got to touch. The power to pick a career, a city, a partner, a belief, without asking anyone's permission. Nobody handed you that. You have to keep choosing to keep it. But power and comfort aren't the same thing. Somewhere between 5 options and 500, the brain stops feeling free and starts feeling tired. Psychologists actually have a name for it. Choice overload. So much energy goes into comparing, hesitating, imagining the regret of a path not taken. The deciding starts to weigh more than the decision itself ever deserved. A $10 purchase can trigger the same mental friction ancient humans once saved for choices that mattered for an entire season. An ancient hunter picking which direction to track an animal didn't wrestle with this not because the stakes were smaller, but because the options were few, and the moment he chose, it was done. Modern life rarely lets a choice actually finish. The tab stays open. The other job listing is still sitting there. The show is still waiting, quietly reminding you it exists. Every time you open the app, the choosing never really stops, even long after you've already chosen. None of this makes comfort a mistake. Refrigeration, global trade, fully stocked shelves, these solved real dangerous problems. Hunger, scarcity, the fear of an empty season with nothing left. Nobody should want to trade that away, and almost nobody would, if they actually had to. But solving scarcity quietly created a different problem. Abundance, with no filter built for it, and no ancient instinct ready to handle the flood. So next time you're frozen in a cereal aisle or scrolling a menu that never seems to end, it isn't weakness. It's a brain built for a handful of clear choices, dropped into a world offering thousands. That frustration isn't a personal failing. It's a mismatch, an old decision-making system, meeting a shelf that was never supposed to exist in the first place. Maybe the goal was never more choices. Maybe it was always just enough to still feel like a choice, and not like standing completely still, stuck in front of a wall of options that were never really necessary to begin with.